So here are my views about knife fighting, and as always, it's controversial. Maybe I start with this. If someone wants to teach you how to use the nunchucks, that's cool. I love nunchucks personally. If someone wants to teach you how to use nunchucks for self-defense, you tell them to get lost. The same thing goes for knife fighting. The same thing goes for fencing. They're all excellent, good, fun sports pursuits. They have no place in self-defense. If the laws of where you live entitle you to carry a weapon, you should carry a gun. If the laws don't entitle you to carry a weapon, you should certainly not carry a knife. Now, I can't really think of any redeeming reasons why. Let's put it this way. If you're a 13 to 45-year-old male, do everybody a favor and leave your knife at home. Now it begs the question, okay, what happens if I'm not capable, if I'm not physically strong, and I don't have much chance of protecting myself against, let's say, a potential predator who'd seek me out? Wouldn't I be better suited to carry a knife, even if I'm not allowed to, so I could have some chance of self-defense? That's a complicated one. And of course, we say, what's the saying? Better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So the idea is sometimes we may want to break the law in order to protect yourselves, or to increase the chances of protecting yourselves. Okay, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but what I will say is this. And it's not that I've never done it. Like, I'll be frank, when I was 14, 15 years old, 16 years old, I was an idiot. I walked around with a mohawk. I got into a lot of trouble, and I'd carry around a knife on occasion because I was an idiot. And that's exactly the people who shouldn't be carrying around knives. 15-year-olds with mohawks who are idiots. I was fortunate enough, in Hebrew we say you have more luck than brains, that I never in a situation where I was tempted or where I pulled it out on anybody. In the realms of self-defense, I wasn't a criminal. I wasn't walking around with any intention of mugging anybody. But hey, when you walk around Israel in the early to mid 90s with a mohawk, people are going to try to fight you. Okay. Just a statistic. I think it came from the UK, where they have a lot of problems with knives. Very often the people who carried knives ended up stabbing with their own knives. Now that makes a lot of sense to me, because if you pull out a knife and you're not prepared to kill the person in front of you with it, chances are it's going to be used against you. And that's a big one, because, okay, you might think that you're prepared to kill somebody with a knife to protect yourself. Of course, we'd all like to think that, when our life is on the line, it's better me than them, obviously. But what's the situation in which I can pull my knife out? Normally, this happens during the intimidation phase, because when somebody's kicking my face in, I don't have time to reach for my knife. I'm protecting myself. I should be fighting. I shouldn't be taking my hands towards my belt line and trying to fidget around, trying to pull it out. And chances are I'll drop it in the process anyways. Okay. So somebody's intimidating you. Somebody's shown real intent that they want to attack you. Now you've pulled out your knife and say, hey, I've got a weapon. I'm prepared to use it. Are you? Are you really? Like, are you mentally prepared to thrust it into somebody's throat? Remember, they're not attacking you yet. So first of all, there's the legal problem with that. And secondly, if you don't, you've just brought a weapon into the game. If they jump on you and they start fighting, remember, we've established this. This is someone that you can't deal with. That's why you've chosen to pull out a knife. You can't overpower them. Maybe it's a group of people. And the more we go down these paths, it loses all purpose, and I can't really make a solid argument for carrying around a knife or the use of knife in self-defense. Let's put aside a few different things. If I'm a soldier and I'm carrying, generally when I'm on patrol, I'll have my M4. Sometimes I'll have my sidearm, and 9mm. I carry Glock, and some will carry a knife as well. And it makes sense in the different ranges, but we're not talking about that at this point. And also there are certain statistics of soldiers. You got to be very careful where you carry your knife in your vest, because if it's visible and accessible, you've again brought a weapon to the party. But let's put those concerns aside of the military operators, and let's go back into our self-defense, everyday Joe. I can't justify a situation in which I would carry around a knife, first of all, for self-defense, and then let's say we were able to get through that hurdle. I can't formulate in my mind a position in which I would use it or draw a blade. Remember, option one is the fight has already started. That means you're getting your head kicked in, you're getting punched, you're getting the crap beaten out of you. You can't start fumbling around and hope to be able to pull out a knife while your head is getting kicked in. Chances are you're just going to drop it. Okay, so that just leaves us with the position of pulling it out for intimidation. Now, if you pull out a weapon, you better be prepared to use it. And if you're listening to this podcast, I certainly hope that you're not a psychopath. And psychopaths and people who are not psychopaths are going to find it very difficult to put a knife through somebody's throat who's not actively attacking them. So again, that leaves you in the same position. You've pulled out a weapon that you're not yet prepared to use. And it just might so happen that the person that you're facing off against is very prepared to do you harm, is not intimidated by the knife, is ready to jump you. It just doesn't end well for you. I'm sorry. And chances of exacerbating a situation, making it even worse. And let's say everything in somehow this warped up situation works your way, you're going to prison for a long, long time. So I'm sorry, like if you want to train knife fighting, Steven Seagal style. I love that movie, by the way. Steven Seagal, Tommy Lee Jones, Under Siege. I recently watched that movie a couple of weeks ago. God, it's got to be like 30 years old now, 25 years old. Still a fantastic movie. But if you want to play knife fighting, if you want to do fencing, hey, I don't like to talk about it publicly so much, but my brother loves doing medieval sword fighting, like RD&D and that type of stuff. Hey, it's fun. If you enjoy doing that, more power to you. Just don't come and tell me that you're doing it for self-defense, because how we say in Hebrew, you're living in a movie. So wake up. Hey, if you don't agree with me, let me know. As always, stay safe.